Hello, Dave Knight here at 123daytrade.com. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. Today is Wednesday, September 19th, 2018. Today is the inventory day. So that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting on the inventory report once again. The weekly release coming out at 9:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. So this report right here. Last week we had 5.3 million negative. This week forecasting negative 2.7 million. A surprise to the market would be anything positive or anything considerably, well, anything it's a positive number probably would be a surprise to the market right now. We've been negative numbers. They've been projecting negative numbers in the crude oil market for pretty much all of, if you look at 2018, it's more negative numbers than positive numbers. Only positives that we see are actually see, that's January, beginning of the year, and then this time. So we've seen some negative numbers pretty much. Although a couple surprises along the way. Today would be a good day for a surprise, I think, on the positive side. We'll see. Get that off the screen right now. We're trading up to a high right now, $70 a barrel. You can see that being reflected over here in the November contract. By the way, we're in November. We've moved from October to November yesterday. This became this contract over here. I'll show you. If you look at this number, 185,726, and if I release this and go to October's contract, it's at 26,012. So if you look at this number down here, 26,000 over here versus 180 something thousand. So you can see which one is the current. Now if you're using T4 and you do that, you've got to open this back up. Otherwise you're going to be an automatic entry, which it's happened to me in the past. So you got to remember to open up those things. And this is a slippage that I'm accepting, 3 ticks within my entry point, and then this is what right now is currently what I'm going with, 20 tick stop loss, 140 tick winning. This would definitely, one trade win right now, that would win the combine for me. Actually around 1,200 and so will win the combine right now for me. Like 122 ticks or so on one contract if I get a one trade win today. I don't expect to get it, but I would hope that that I'm in position to get it. So that's kind of what my thought process is right now, to give myself the ability to get it if I get lucky enough to get that one trade win today. So that's about it. That's all I really want to talk about right now. There's not much to talk about. There's not much on the volume front. Highest volume on the blue side right now is 958. Highest on the red is 574 from the morning. Coming in the blue at 821 and the red at 727. We can see our GAN numbers, targets 774 and 6819. See extreme range of movement right now, looking at 7227 to all the way back down to the number 666, number 6665. So that's what we're looking at, and that's what I'm looking at this point, I should say. So hopefully I can trust myself, as I did a screen print of yesterday's trade to remind me. I gotta get some more ink, but I gotta remind myself. I don't know if you see that. It says trust what I see. So I saw this setup, but I came in early on it. I came in early at 70.11 when, if I would have been patient and waited for the correct setup, the correct setup would have put me in at 70.06, and that one ends up going 3p yesterday, which would have won the combine for me again. So I'm trying not to beat myself up too much, but recognize that the last 2 combines I've been in, due to my own stupidity, yesterday could have been a day that I passed FTP. and had moved on to the funded account. So recognize and trust in myself, trust in what I'm seeing, trust in what I'm trying to accomplish, and stop doing the things that frankly cost me yesterday. I accumulated 30 ticks of loss yesterday because I was trying to get long. You know, I want to trade on the long side occasionally, but it's just not working out for me. Every time, I'm telling you, just about it's about 85–90% of the time that anytime I put on a long side trade, it runs a little up in my favor and then goes to the stop. It just doesn't matter how far I put it behind it. It just 10 ticks, 12 ticks, it really doesn't matter. It just seeks it like a hot seeking missile. And that just lets me know that my way I'm viewing the long side of the market is incorrect right now. So, and yesterday I had no business being long with the highest volume being blue. So that was my override. I overrode my own logic yesterday because we ran $70 a barrel for the first time, and I thought we were going to run it again. And I use those words. If you can hear what I just said, I thought that we would do this. When you start thinking as a trader, I'm telling you that a lot of my day trading blunders come from I thought and I think and I know. Those kind of words right there will send you to the poorhouse. All right, so that's my 2 cents for today. I'll be back as we get closer to the inventory. We're about about 33 minutes away from the release. See you in a few. Okay, so what do we see right now? We see a market that has went up, and we have a high volume blue bar right now, and it's about about 7 minutes from report. So let's see how this plays out here in a few minutes. Be back in a couple. All right, so what do we see here? So what we're seeing is a market that is moved up to R1, went one tick below it, I believe, a high of 70.31. R1 is 70.32. Now, if we go from top down quickly, let's look at top down and see what we see. Daily charts. Let's move this over so we can look at it. All right, so we're up against the upper bands. Upper bands being R1, getting above the $70 mark. So the odds of it heading up and being able to get to 72.20 and so forth are pretty good right now, all things being equal as we come into here. 1, 2, 3. This could be the fourth attempt going up. So it looks like anything above 70.32 could be a bonus in this case, going above. That's top down, move down to the hour. So we're up at the upper band. So this could be on the other side. This could be a top right here, and we top out here and we head back down. That's what the hourly chart's showing. Hour move back down to the 200 bar SMA down here at 68.71. 15 minutes. 15 minutes coming back down into pivot and a little below to 69. And 5-minute chart, you can see that the 5 minutes are showing the market of the 200 bar SMA at 69.60 right now. So that is our top-down approach. We're got to wait according to, I don't have to wait in the combine. I could get involved in it early, but I'm not. I'm going to wait for the release of the report to come out at the 9:30 mark, which is about how far away? 4 minutes away. 4 minutes from the report release. You can see that we busted the $70 mark. We actually busted it yesterday, and now we're above 70 right now as we speak. Easily 70 is in play until it's not, obviously, right? So it's in play right now as we broke through it, right through this area. That's probably the bottom of range right now if we think about range. So we have our high, mid, and low range. So sell below, buy above right now. Buy above would be the 70.18 mark. Sell below is pretty much underneath that $70 a barrel, and so forth and so on. So let's see how this plays out. We're about, how far away now? 3 minutes away. I'll be right back. All right, we're a minute away here, so the release should be coming in a minute now. Remember, according to Top Step rules in FTP and also the funded account, you have to wait 1 minute before you can enter into a trade. Although in the combine you can get involved early. I would say anything below, I don't know what we're going to do. There I go with I think. Let's just watch. Let's watch and see if we can trade correctly. Don't worry about the I think crap. All right, so blue. What Forex Factory say quickly? Negative number, but not as negative as they expected. So that could play in our favor. We'll go ahead and put an entry in for 14. Let's go ahead and protect break even now. Damn it, all the way back. And we get lucky today. I'm hanging around the $70 a little too long right now. Wait for a 1, 2, 3 setup here before we get involved. I'm going to pause until I find it. Okay, trying to set up here, but not officially. All right, now it is 70.08. Looks like we're going to go after that high. Alright, so the initial part of this, we're going to move down to 2/3 stop now to 13. I'm going to remove the open order, and we're going to wait. Alright, pausing until I see something. Obviously, it looks like the long's the trade to be in right now. Pausing. Alright, we're trying here now. New high here, 70.52. 70.34 is entry point now. We're in. 70.52 high. $70.35 entry point. 1P move down. 70.12. The 3P, 2P move 69.88, then 69.65. Falling 20 ticks behind would be 49 right now. Low at 29 on this swing. All right, time to protect. Market could easily head up and go down. They're still fighting around that R1 line. 70.27 looks like the correct signal to be short right now. $70.27 makes $70.04 1P move. So here's a long entry right through here, and then it goes all the way back down below the range, reaches down to it's like how many entries? It's like how many licks to the Tootsie Roll Pop? This could have been one too many today. $70.27, $70.04. $70.04 is a 1P move right here. Then $69.80, then $69.57. All right, going to protect. Protecting now. I don't want to see it move back. Not yet. Want to see $70 a barrel here. Let's go ahead and protect. Come on, you bastard. Move down. Takes me out here. I need to stand aside. Come on, see at least 70 right now. Let's go. High right there is 22. Really don't want to see 70.25 now. That's a 1p move hit. Hit and through, down 1p. Let's go ahead and lock in 5. Notice I'm looking for about 120 now. So we can come off 20 ticks. Be 69.07. If it gets into here, I'll win the combines. That's why this is it right there. I'm trying to win the combine today. But we're going to be smart here. 69.80 is the next target down. 69.80. Got a red bar volume right here. See if that just is a 69.80, then 69.57. That'll pull it down towards pivot. Let's go 70.23 on the stop, 1 tick above that right there. And that'll be 5 ticks above 70.18 right now. And we get lucky. So all we've done right now is go to the bottom of the band. So this could be all she wrote to the short. Recognize that this could be it. I'm going to protect the blue line now. We're close enough to the 200 bar line. This will give me 70.25 will give me +5 today. That's not what I want, but it is what it is. I'm on the blue line. I don't want to lose on this trade. But it gets back up here, it probably goes makes new highs. And some calming music on in the background. Let's look for highest red right now. This highest blue off the report. Highest blue before that. Highest red 1567. 1425. $18.89 at 9:30. This is highest red right there, 1567. Yeah, when I'm like locked into a trade, I start updating things, keep my finger away from the trigger button. 1425 at 9:45. There's not much I can do about this. I'm looking for a lot bigger trade than just a 1p move. I mean, if it comes all the way back up through here, you got to think that the jig is up on the short. And the long is going to be the true move today. Sometimes where I'm looking at a reversal is a good trade to go one way or the other. So 70.27 might be the mark today that we'd never look back from for the rest of the session, and it goes up from there. Sure looked like it was heading down at 69.95 though, didn't it? Just wasn't meant to be yet. And I got a feeling we're going to get run out here, but I don't know if this is going to be enough. Yeah, there it goes. Alright, so let's mark the charts at 70.27 on the long side, and I'm not trading it, but if you would have taken a long there, let's see what happens. $70.50 would be a 1p move. Looks like it's going to go all the way back to break even though. Yep, back to break even. Once again, the long side of the market just gets you. So let's remove that because that was just nothing better than a break-even trade right there. Went down to 23. I just don't like the long side. I don't know how to make it any more clear than where I see value. Now this is the long above line down here. And I don't know if I'm willing to put on any more trades. I think that the short had its chance back here, and now we've turned the leave here. What the hell? I think we've turned the leave to the long side now. And I'm not willing to trade the long because I get my ass kicked. But I recovered a little bit of my loss today, so I'm okay. And if I would have been smart yesterday, I would have caught the trade that I was supposed to catch, and then I would have passed the freaking combine and moved on to FTP at minimum. I don't see anything I want to do right now. The market has went down 1p and it came all the way back up, and I'm not trading alongside the market because I don't trust it. I don't trust the longs. Every time I put on a long, pretty much it's a mistake in my estimation of where I'm putting on a long. I probably should have been long down here when I was in the short. This is probably the long side of the trade down in this area on the 70.11 mark or so. So probably the traders that are trading long maybe caught it around 70.12 or so. That looks like a good spot in the market to looking at the long side of the market right around there, using these volume bars. Get yourself in. $70.12 would make $70.35, and then you have already ran a 1p target. I'm going to pause here because I'm just we've moved back into this ugly range right now, and we've been here at the R1 line. So I think the only way that I would have, hindsight on the long is always right. So down here looks like the right point to be reversing, but it's hindsight. You don't know that coming into this trade that this was the turning point. And it doesn't mean it is the turning point either. It just, this is what in hindsight looking back, this is where, if I was looking long only, this is probably the area that I'd be looking at, right in that area. Short only trades, pretty much I'm looking at the top right now, 70.52, and what we do up there. $70.74 is the GAN number. So let's pause here for station identification. No, I don't know. Until I see something volume related, the early volume's done, so now we need something else. Be back if I see it. Okay, we're reaching up to the high. What are we going to do up here? Now, I will not trade a fake out since we've already been above R1. So the only way to get into a trade would be another high volume bar and above 1,000 at least. That would probably require the market to make some new highs. So if I see it, I'll be back. Okay, so we did bust it, making new highs. It's usually it works the first couple of times, but after this kind of movement here, it gets kind of iffy if there's going to be, is this the high, is this not the high? So new high went from 70.52 to 70.71 there. And we see a high volume bar right there at 24.66. Coming in at 10:06 a.m. GAN is 70.74. Where's R2 today? R2's at 71.18. This looks like an up day to me. Obviously it's an up day. We're at plus 100 ticks right now. But I mean, this looks like going to be an up day for the day. The bottom of the band right here. Looks like a day that we're going to take out some stops on the short side. We're going to move up for a while. What do we need to see? Probably 4,000 or 5,000 in volume to stop the upward movement. Now, I believe, from my understanding of volume, when you start seeing like this break above the 52 line here, this is stop running now. So I'm not going to use this short side entry. We're going to mark it and see what happens, but I'm not going to get involved in it. Because I believe until we see, now, you know, I'm not going to mark it. I believe not until we see really high volume on the blue side, it doesn't pay to be in a short now. So I'm going to pause here and we're going to just not do anything for now. So what I'm seeing is a run that's moving higher and stop running on the blue side now. It's a market that wants to break above, and I guess if we look, let's move the charts over and take a look. Here's our hourly chart. Now we've reached, one thing I can say is that 70.90 was the high of this contract as far as the eye can see. And before that, September 4th, 70.99. And we haven't been up that way. Well, this contract, as far as I can see, hasn't been back there. What I'm scared of right now is getting involved in it at 70.53 and it going straight up. And I could be wrong, but we already broke through the 70.52 mark. So I'm expecting it to come down in that 70.52 range and then head back up. I don't believe this volume bar is high enough. In fact, the highest volume bar came in at 917, to be honest. and it came in prior to all this, and it was the first one that went above 7. Well, it was trading at 70 before. That was the high, and then it broke through that 70 area. So this one is showing that it broke through, and then the 930 comes in and it shows you it wants to break through there, and this one comes in and it shows you it wants to break up to here. So it reached down to the bottom of the band. Now it's coming back up. And that might be how I have to approach the longs at some point, looking at the bottom of a band and then getting involved on the bottoms of the bands where the market showed that it wanted to do something on an up day. I don't know. I'm still in a quandary of how I want to handle the longs. Honestly, I don't think we're going to stop going up until we find some form of resistance in volume. It might be at the 70.99, 70.91 area. Who knows? But this could be the day we go up over 7,100 too. All right, so if we would have been short, I've been looking at 70.53. I would want to move down to 70.30. I just don't trust the short right now at all, as we've made new highs. And the last time we got involved, the best we did was the market go 1p our favor and then come up. So if it does go 1p our favor, that would bring it down to the R1 line. So what we're seeing is a very confused market right now. I'm not confused. I shouldn't say confused on my side that I want to short it, but I don't believe we're done going up. I believe that this is just a minor retracement of a move before it goes and makes new highs, and that we haven't seen. And I keep saying I believe and I think, and that's incorrect. But what I'm looking at is previous experience. Once you break into uncharted area, the best chance to go down was here in this 952 area. That was the best chance for the market. I mean, yeah, the 7052, excuse me, 952, 7052. This area through here was the best chance for the market to head down, and we were involved in it at that point. Now we're in that it's a minor retracement area. If we look at, this is kind of a difficult chart to see the overall picture, so let's move over the 5 minute because that gives a better picture. So here's the picture of today's market. Can it fall? Definitely. Will it? I don't know. I mean, at this point in time, you can look at a 50% retracement, right? We can say, all right, if it does fall, where is possible retracements to? Down into the $70 range, or up here at 70.20. That's a possible retracement. If we look at just, if we think of, I don't even know if it's on here, but let's see if it's again. It's no, they don't have the one that I'm looking at. But if we think about wave pattern, Get my screen draw tool out, and this is the bottom. Now where do you see a potential top? Up here, right? And then this is that bottom. So here's your 1, 2, 3. Now this could be 4, and we haven't seen 5 yet. So we still have the 5, and then we can have the ABC correction off of that. This is B little a, little b, little c. There could be a correction off of this move. Now some people would say, hey, this would have been that, and this would have been that. But I would say wait for the American markets and look at what happened off the inventory. That would be the end of the wave. So here's your wave. Let me correct this now. And let's move this to the right edge. Let's move this over. So if we're looking at a wave today, here's this would be the way Gann would mark it. It'd be 0, 1, 2, is this 3, 4, and 5 coming up here. So 5 hasn't been seen yet. Now, a lot of times you measure this. So this measurement right here to this measurement right here is usually half the distance of the 1. So if this was the 1 move, this one is half the distance of this. So if we would transpose this in, so it's about half of the distance that it's made it. So another half distance up would put it around the 70. Looks like it would put it up to around 7,100 or so. I'm just thinking out of the box today, and I don't believe that we've seen, I mean, R1 is 70.32 and R2 is 71.18, I believe. Yeah, 71.18. So I think we might see that R2 today, and we continue an upward movement, that this would be the retracement lows right in here, and we're going to head up. And maybe up here at 5, we have the ABC correction to this wave pattern today. This is why I'm a better short side trader than a long side trader, because I use some of my powers of observation, and I hate to use the word think, but you have to look at that and see it. So there's a fine line between see and think. So what am I looking for? I'm looking for a high volume number is what I'm looking for. And I'm looking for a top. And then I would like to get involved in the correction of that top, if there is one. So what I'm getting at is I expect the market to get above the 70.71, and then maybe up here what we'll see on the tick chart is a volume bar. Get the screen draw, a volume bar that's greater than 4,000, or at least above 3,000, making highest volume bar. We want a volume bar over, I think right now we've got a highest volume bar at 2.7K. So what I want now is something that's greater than that number. And then I'll look at, and then until I get that, I think the best course of action is to stay away from the trade. There might be a close 30 available, between the 2 to 2:30 mark, or 1 to 1:30 Central Time. 1 to 1:30, there might be that available. But at this point in time, there's no economic reports to worry about yet. So we don't need to worry about economic reports. So there could be a possible trade. I just don't know. Anyway, I'm going to stop this video here. Let me get the screen draw. And if I see anything else, I'll come back. Though this will be the end of part 1 or the end of the video, because this is the beginning of part 2 right now. I've decided to stand aside at this point in time. I didn't like the 70.53 entry point. In fact, it went back to break even and above at 70.57. So I feel a little bit better about the trade itself now that it reached down here at 70.38, then it went back up and through. I wouldn't have wanted to take a loss on this trade, so I would have been out on that move back up. And I just don't know exactly what's going to happen for the rest of the day. I don't know if this part of the video will be, I will include it in the other part of the video, but we'll see. I'm just going to pause here, and we'll see if I add this back. Obviously you'll see it after the end of part 1. I kind of believe that I don't know what to think. That's the best way I should approach the market. I don't know what to think. What I think and what happened can be two different things. But I'm looking at, like I talked about before, I'm looking at that wave pattern, and maybe we can get an ABC correction off of it. But we need some high volume. One of the things that I kind of want to talk about quickly is how do I keep myself out of some bad trades sometimes. See those egg timers right there? One's 10 minutes, and the other is 5 minutes. So depending upon my attitude at the market and what I think, I'll put myself in what I call a timeout. So I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but this is what some, mental tricks, physical tricks, whatever you can do to keep yourself away from doing something stupid sometimes when you're wrong. Like right now I thought that the market would go back up and it would continue to come down. The market moved down to a 1p move. Is it going to continue to come on down? Right now it looks like it's going to go down to 0. But who knows? So that 70.53 entry, a 1p down move brought it to 70.30, which is right in here. I believe what I'm looking for is a volume that's greater than what was printed at 918 now. And that's what I'm sticking to. But this could have been I could have counted the wave patterns incorrectly, and if I did, then I did. There's not much more that I can do about it. I didn't want to get involved after we busted the high previous. So we had broke through several different highs along the way. Excuse me for a second. So we broke through the $70 mark, and we went up here pre-economic report release. Then the report was released, and it just barely made a new high. I like that, so I took it on. And then we came up through here, and I like that too, because we just barely made a new high above the R1. But when this trade didn't work out coming back, is when I looked at the market turning direction a little bit. So right here at the 23 mark, is that going to be the spot that stops it? Is it going to be down here on the bands? I expect that somewhere between here and $70 a barrel, it's going to stop this downward movement. But we'll see. But what I'm looking for, I just didn't see this volume figure at 2466 at 10:06 to be the volume that was going to stop the up move. So if we measure it from the high, how far have we been down? 70.71. And let's measure the low. 69.36. So we have been up 6 almost. So let me move this over. We've almost been up 6. The GAN number held, so that could have been, maybe I could have traded the GAN number today at 70.74. That we couldn't, once we didn't break through it, to trade it and then take as much as I could on the move. So that's a possible trade that I could have looked at. So woulda, shoulda, coulda falls into that category. So how far can the market fall? Almost up 6, so really means 5. So that means it can go down 2.5 to 3. So somewhere between 24 to 70.001 is where I expect this retracement to stop. So we're inside that range right now of where I expect that retracement or correction to stop and then make that last move above the 70.71 level. So we will see. Time will tell. Okay, let's talk about this because I want to. Some of the longs I do see, there's one I would call it this, where it's stair-stepping its way down. It's not really the way that I want to show it, but stair-stepping its way down. I call this stair-stepping. Let's get this out here. Let's just use the lows. So it's stair-stepping its way down. That's probably a better way of looking at it. So each low, and now what you need to do is look at lows versus what you see here. So here's a low here, and then this low coincides here, and then this low coincides here. So we're kind of building up a little bit of momentum for the move that could send this up this way. Correspondingly, that would send the market up. So that's kind of the things that I see. It works with the GAN, right? Fourth time through. But I'm always hesitant now to trade on the long side of the market. But this is what I see. So I expect the market to recover and make a move back this way. It might stair step down one more time before it does it though. So let's see what happens into the trading session, or later in this session. Be back in a bit. So here's my thought process right now. I'm not taking it, but 70.26 is a long signal based upon the divergence here of the lows being posted and the Williams %R indicator. So it looks like if it gets above 70.26 on this fake out, it has a possibility to run the highs. But as many times as I'm wrong, I'd rather see more confirmation of this kind of trade in my arsenal to be able to take it on. So in other words, be able to come back and say, all right, this is percentage correct for me. So I'm trying to find places where my thinking on the long is correct, but trying to find an entry point that's better than where I'm coming in normally. So let's see how it works out a little bit later. All right, so divergence entry might be the way to go at this on a trade that has potential to move back up. This was the entry point off the fake out. This is still a 1p move up here, which we have not reached. 70.49. This is holding. We'd obviously, oh no, maybe not. It's not obvious to you, but I wouldn't take a loss on this trade now. So 70.45, 20 ticks behind that is 70.25. I wouldn't take a loss on this trade, so I would be sitting at 70.27. And if it hits it, so be it. But I do not like taking loss on longs that have moved my favor. And I know the market has a tendency to do bullshit when it comes to the long side of the market. Come down further and deeper than you expect it to, and then go up. And maybe the difference is once you have enough profit in your account or on a day, it gives you the ability to hold down here, because that's what you really need to be able to do, is hold down in this area on the long side, because that would be failure down here. So you have to be willing and able to hold a further out stop on a long, which unfortunately is not something I'm willing to do at this point in time in my trading career at Top Step Trader. Now, if I didn't have max daily loss and all the other crap that is at Top Step Trader, I would probably be a little bit more confident on my long setups. We'll talk a little bit later. Alright, so entry point around 11:28, a 1p move comes 45 minutes later. That's a long time. So one of the things that, I mean, since I am a decent short side trader, what am I looking for? Volatility, pretty much, is the word that I'm hunting for. I'm looking for volatility movement to get involved in, and I think maybe some of my short side trades that I get involved in, or excuse me, long side trades I get involved in, come in the area where the market is kind of in a dead zone, or trading a little bit on the dead side, or not, you know, not in volatility. So I sit back and I see these long side trades easier because the movement has slowed down, and maybe that's not the best trades to be setting up. Now this one is an exception to that general rule because of the stair-step nature, and we had already established an up day before this movement. So that is the reason behind why I liked the trade, this one I should say. With that being said, I don't really have an answer to the long side of the market for the most part. I mean, I see certain things that could work, and I want to, you know, how do you approach that? How do you make it beneficial? Like a few weeks ago or a week or so ago, there was a long trade above the pivot mark that really made sense. So there's certain areas that seems like that would be a good point to be. Now, what am I looking at right now? I'm looking at us to get up to the highs again, to get up. What do we get? We had 70.71. So I'm looking for us to hit up here against this high, maybe go higher, and then see what's above that, and then maybe we have a sell-off into close. We'll see. Be back in a bit. So we're coming into the last 30 minutes of trading here, and we're making a move almost to the highs of the day. A 2p up move from that entry point that we're looking at would mark it at 73 right now, so a little above where we're trading. We've made it up to 69. I expect that we're going to make a push above this high a little bit, and then we might sell off. I'm not extremely confident in it right now because we could go through here and up to R2. R2 again is 71.18, so that can be hit as well. So there's three scenarios that can happen right now, and unless I see high volume, I don't know which scenario is going to happen. We're up 108, 107 coming into the last 30 minutes, and it might take until the last 15 to 10 minutes for the market to show its hand in the United States open outcry that consolidates roughly at the 1:30 mark Central Time, Chicago time. So let's keep our eye on it. We'll just keep our eye on it. I'm unless I see high volume itself, I don't think that's something I want to participate in, because I don't know. I mean, if this goes up or this goes down, I don't know, or it just stays in here because volume isn't showing anything. I mean, any of these three scenarios can happen right now. Be back in a bit. So we're looking at one side of the market right now. I'm looking at an entry at 62, 61. And 1.5p is 35 today. So 1 is 23. So we're somewhere between 38 to 26 on the downside. I think we're going to head up before we go back down right now. Hold on. Think. Just don't like the trading today. Don't like the way the market's looking. All right, so let's measure it from 61 if we would have gotten involved, or 62. So 39 to 27. And I'd want to see it move quickly. So it's a 1p move to 39. 27 is below this. This is the close 30 right now, but it doesn't look like it's going to break. So 70.62 would have you out, because you want to see a fast moving market. You don't want to see it come back, because then the other side can win the day. So we went to 61 there. Moves back to 62, that this trade's going to be over. The only other thing you can do maybe is look at it at the 15 mark with 15 minutes to go in the trade session. There's 62 right there. I would have flattened out on this trade because I've been wanting the market to close 30 works best if it just goes straight to target. If it stops and comes back, then there's a big question mark of what's going to happen for the rest of the day. It could just as easily go this way or just end up like this. So there's just no rhyme or reason. And volume hasn't given you any help either. So stood aside. So we'll look at the mark with about 15 minutes to go between 1:15 to 1:30. Sometimes the last 15 minutes can be beneficial, but it looks like a market that's kind of happy where it is right now. It's well above the 70 mark and it's well below the 71, so it seems like people that are quite sufficiently happy where we are. If you think about options expiring right now, 71 getting up there, that could make some people happy, and 70 can make some people happy. So the people that are in the know that they can expire it right here. Both sides of this option play will be, depending upon what side you're on, be worthless. Or if they've collected a premium and they keep these below these levels, or well, this below this, above that, so people that are collecting a premium can make some money here in the middle too. I'm just making things up as I think about a reason why someone would want this to come across. And what am I talking about? Well, I believe today's might be last trading day of October's contract. Settlement was the 17th. Last trade was the 17th. So, well, who knows what we're doing. Alright, so here's your volume finally. End of day. So it made 70.73. That was a 2p move from that entry point we looked at. At 70.26. Looks like the long is strong in the close. Might be a possible entry here at 71. And running down a little bit into close. Not confident in this trade though. We're making new highs in the close. That's not something that I'm comfortable with trading the close 30 yet. So 70.71. Ten-tick stop loss puts it at 81. Not trading this because I don't have confidence in it today. Now if I wanted to wait, I'm content with taking I know it's only 6 ticks, but I'm content with winning this trading day. I guess that's the long story short about today. I'm content to take my small gain. I believe the market was a long for the rest of the session so far. And I'm not trading long, so therefore I didn't see something that is worthwhile. Plus, we never got a volume bar higher than at 27.41 either. 70.71, 1p down move brings it to 70.48. This is one of those trades again that I wouldn't want to lose on this. So moving back to 71 would have me out. There, it just hit it again. I haven't liked anything today to be on the short side. So really what I want to see, I'm not going to trade this. I just don't think that we're going to stop going up until we see a volume that's greater than 3 to 5,000. We need to see some blow off volume, and that might take the market to 72, 73. Who knows where the hell we're going to go right now, but this is a strong up move, and you really don't want to get involved. I mean, the best that I saw today on the trade on the short side was a 1p retracement. So on the short, it was a day to be long. Obviously, if you could find yourself the spot to be in it, that was the gold star today. The gold star was to be long. And when I was looking at the short side of the market, maybe the long side is something I got to look at as well. But with the volume, the way I look at it, I'm looking at catching that top and then getting that violent move that sends it down. Today, that didn't happen. So since it didn't happen, the best thing to do is what I call SA, right? Stand aside. At least for my way of looking at it. So I'll take my 6 ticks and see what happens tomorrow. There's always tomorrow. Live to fight another day. I shouldn't have given up my gains on bad trading decisions. I gave up 30 ticks yesterday. I gave up 30 ticks on trying to be long. And that cost me $300 and then brought me underneath the 31,000 mark. So let's be smarter and wait for things that I know work for me. That's going to do it for me today. Dave Knight here. End of part 2 right now. I'm going to put this together and render it and put it up on the website or on YouTube. On the YouTube.